Hello, 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 and welcome to Game Day Live. We're at a special live podcast recording here at Alementary Brewing.
Hello.
Hey, give me some noise, guys. Let's get a little. Come on, a little bit. Yeah. Come on. I am Nick Villano, editor-in-chief of PucksandPitchforks.com. I'm here with Ryan. How do I introduce you? Introduce yourself.
My name is Ryan Arthur. I'm the vice president of sales for Alementary, and psyched to have everybody here.
And then
I got guys.
Yeah, give him a round of applause. Come on, give it up. And we got Marcie, Rubin, Pucks and Pitchforks right here, also a fan-sided writer writing about the whole NHL. But Devils first. Marcie, how we doing tonight?
Excited to be here.
Oh, I'm excited too. I'm excited. We're doing the live podcast from Alementary in Hackensack. If you're not here, you're messing something up. Put us on the phone. Get your butt in the car. Drive over Alementary in Hackensack. Watch this game with us. You still got till 7:30. But guys, we got a very interesting matchup. I'm going to tell you this. I was very surprised when I looked at the standings. I don't pay attention to the standings too much this early in the season, but I looked at the standings just because I was curious. I was like, oh, Montreal sucks. Excuse my language, but they do. They capital S suck. But they're, what are they, 3-1-1 or 2-1-1? They have more wins than losses. And I was looking at they've lost Kirby Doc. They've lost a couple. I think they lost David Savard today. They've lost these pieces, but they've prevailed. I think they got me and Ryan in goal right now. I'm trying to figure out, is this a hard matchup right now? Like this, when you looked at the schedule before the season, and this was supposed to be easy. But Ryan, I'll ask you first. Is this a hard matchup on the schedule?
Not particularly. I look at Montreal a lot as the way I look at the Devils from a few years ago, where any team can come out and really scream it at the beginning of the year, and then pretty quickly you figure out who they actually are. So I think they're kind of one of those teams where they're just coming out quick, firing. They're going to run out of steam. And I think we can skate them into the ground, quite frankly.
What do you think, Marcie? You're looking at the NHL as a whole. You probably know more about Montreal than I do. So tell me, what's going on here?
I think at this point in the season, any matchup can be a tough matchup because you're kind of still figuring out where everyone's at. I think there have been some teams that have surprised us so far, like the Red Wings, for example, are doing really great so far. And it's like, I think any team at this point can still really show us that they're going to do better than we thought. So
yeah.
It could be a tough matchup.
And that's the thing is that, we looked at that Red Wings matchup in the beginning of the season. The Devils kind of, they skirted by, right, with the win. They looked really bad in the first period, and then they started to pick up steam, and they looked really good in the second and the third. But we kind of came out of that game feeling icky about the team, and then they threw up a dud against Arizona. Threw up a bigger dud against why is it escaping me? Who did they lose to? Like in Florida, jeez. Threw a bigger dud against Florida. Came back, like they made the attempted comeback, but it was 4-0. So it was And then, looked a lot better in the last game against the Islanders, even though it was an overtime win. They won how you expected them to win. And now you go into this Montreal game. It's the first road game of the season. They had the first 4 games at home, which is kind of unprecedented. And now you go, not only are you going, but you're going over the border. You have to go through customs. There's all these things that they are just getting back used to. What kind of impact, I'll start with you, Marcie. What kind of impact is that going to have? That first road game of the season, sleeping in the hotel bed, what's it going to do for this team?
I think it's an adjustment. And one thing that I really want to see the Devils do tonight is have a really strong first period. As we've seen, that's been a struggle in the first couple of games. We saw that a lot last year. So I think that if they can come out strong in the first period and set the tone, they're not then going to be in a hole and trying to come back in the second and third periods. And I think that would really, go a long way.
Yeah, they do like to dig themselves that early hole. I don't know what it is about them. It's the fun of the comeback. I'm not sure what it is, but that's a carryover. 100% from last year. And correct me if I'm wrong, they did stay in a hotel before the Islanders game.
Oh, did they?
They did, yeah. They went out to the island and stayed in a hotel. I think they wanted to kind of simulate that.
That's right.
It's basically a home game, though.
Yeah.
Like on a normal time, maybe you stay in your bed. Yeah,
no
you're taking a bus. I think that's one of the things that Palat talked a lot about on NHL Network, where the big move, even just Southern Eastern to Northern Eastern, is all your road trips are buses. And most of your road trips, you go to Philly, you don't spend the night. You go to the Rangers, you don't spend the night. You go to the Islanders, you don't spend the night.
I wonder if that's a reason. Like he stuck because if you remember, he waited for the Johnny Gaudreau thing to kind of settle before he signed with the Devils. I wonder if he was looking for one of those Northeast teams because he's like, I'm sick of flying everywhere from even going to the Panthers. That's a 3.5 hour, 4 hour drive.
Yeah, it's not.
So
close.
it's not like you're gonna fly. So everywhere they go, they have to fly. Do you think that was like a reason?
I mean, as you get older, it's got to be. I mean, even Jágr talked about it when he started, when he had gone all over the league and come back to the Devils. He's like, oh, I forgot how great these bus rides were. Like, it's something that's got to go towards their overall mentality of a road trip. I think it's got to help you.
Yeah.
I do.
So let's talk about the players on the ice because we have some players doing phenomenal, and then we have some players doing poopy. Not good. Very bad. Let's talk about the phenomenal. Jack Hughes is a legit Hart Trophy candidate. 10 points. He was leading the league, but I think a couple of the Red Wings players, I know DeBrincat and I think Dylan Larkin passed him, but they have 2 extra games.
DeBrincat's having a great early season.
Yeah. They all, the Red Wings are the surprise of the early start. Yeah, and they're the only ones who are leading Jack Hughes in points as of when I checked last night. So maybe somebody came over. But anyway, Hughes is definitely like a Hart candidate first month of the season. What is your assessment? Does he look like a different player in than he did last year when he was already a 99-point player, or is this just like he just happened to get more points this time?
I think he looks like a stronger version of the player you saw last year. He's an adult. I mean, kid, what is he, 22?
Yeah.
Dude, what I was doing
he's
at 22
just old
and
enough
what
to be
he's
in the
doing at 22
establishment
are very, very, very different things. You're looking at a kid who skates on a level that's almost unbelievable, but with a puck on a stick.
Yeah.
That he does things on skates that you're not supposed to be able to do.
Marcie, I just wrote about the team and where they all ranked in the ESPN 100 rankings, and Jack Hughes is 4th. Do you feel like that's fair? Is it fair to rank him 4th in the entire league? Ahead of Leon Draisaitl, ahead of Austin Matthews, ahead of some really good players.
Yeah, I think it's fair because he's really stepping it up into that next gear, and I think we're going to see that level from him this season. Last season, he was really getting to that superstar level, and this season we're really going to take it up to the next gear.
We're going to take it up, and I mean, listen, where's the ceiling here? Like he's not.
We're going to find out.
Because the bold prediction that you heard from a lot of people, this from the national pundits, my bold prediction is Jack Hughes is going to score 120 points. He's on pace for like 200. So like
218.
Where's the ceiling here? Where is the ceiling what Connor McDavid did last year, or is that unattainable? Like where's the ceiling here? I'll start with you and then we'll go to Ryan. Yeah.
So I did a piece for Fansided for the NHL Fansided NHL homepage, and one of my predictions was that one of my bold predictions is that Jack Hughes is going to score 50 goals this season.
Ooh,
so
I like that one.
A little bold there.
I don't think that's that crazy.
No?
I really don't.
I'd be excited to see it.
I say 60.
60?
60. 60.
Who invited you? Coming out of here in left field. But Ryan, what do you think? Is this like what's the ceiling? Do you think he's a 51-20 player? Do you think he's a 51-50 player? Like where's the ceiling?
I mean, you don't really know yet, right? I mean, even McDavid at 22, you weren't quite sure what his ceiling was going to be. I mean, if Jack matures and he fills out, and he's never going to have exceptional height or anything like that, but he gets a little bigger. He's throwing that like back shoulder check thing in this year, which he wasn't doing last year. There's going to be little tweaks to his game constantly, but I think you're looking at a guy who's consistently going to score 100 to 130 points.
Yeah. So Sam, you're
Every
Mr.
year.
Bold Prediction. You've come to join us.
Yes.
Yeah, all you had to do was talk into the mic.
Yeah? Where was I talking?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Jack Hughes looks like a different player. I think we can all agree there.
Oh, yeah.
What have you seen, though? I mean, you've watched a lot of these games, mostly from bars. What have you seen from that perspective, like looking at the camera, kind of looking on TV? Like, what have you seen that makes him special?
I'm going to say something odd here. It's not on the ice. It's off the ice. When he, in that interview.
Is it his Gato and chill?
No, about Timo Meyer. There was an article in James Nichols' New Jersey Hockey Now that, he was saying that, hey, we brought you in. You're paid to be here. It's not good that you're getting benched. Hopefully it doesn't happen. I don't know the exact words, but I think the leadership of Jack Hughes, and you're seeing him speak up more, especially after the exit interviews.
Yeah.
After the Carolina series, I think we're going to see a different Jack Hughes. I kind of like a pissed off Jack Hughes, actually, when he's mad.
So I'm going to use this. I don't mean to cut you off, but I need to use a professional transition that he just handed me, and I want to go from leadership of Jack Hughes to Nico Hischier. Because Nico Hischier has been one of them poopy players. Like, he hasn't been good. And his pairing with Timo Meier did not work. And they took Timo Meier off his wing, and Timo Meier got going in that first game, and Nico Hischier did not. He actually got injured and didn't play in the entire third period. He's back. He's in the lineup tonight. He's paired with Jesper Bratt and I want to say Palat. So an interesting pairing. Like, there's some skill, there's some veteran leadership, but would you call it disappointed in what you've seen from Nico so far, or are you kind of in a wait and see? Have you seen anything wrong with this game? I'm going to start with Ryan. Ryan, have you seen anything wrong with this game so far?
No, I think it's too early to be disappointed. Trying to duck out of that hit along the boards was a odd decision because he ended up getting hip checked into the head, right into the. And at that point, that's kind of on you, as far as I'm concerned. You put yourself in a dangerous position. But I
wouldn't see the value. Like, what were you trying to do?
I was unsure
just
too. Like, you can just absorb that hit in the shoulder and keep going. I wasn't sure what he was going for there or what he was thinking about. I wouldn't say disappointed. I think it's too early in the season to be disappointed by anybody. You've got a couple of new big pieces. It was good to see Toffoli roof that goal.
Yeah.
And in any other game, that's like your wow, look at this highlight until Jack wins it in overtime. But you see everybody starting to kind of maybe fall into their places in that way. A little bit of a line shuffle to get things going. I wouldn't be upset with Nico yet. Give me 5 more games. If he's got 2 points, then we got something to talk about.
I'm going to go with Sam. Sam, what's your thoughts on Nico? You usually you'd stay in the middle. Like, while we're all fire Lindy, hire Lindy, and we're all like trade Jack Hughes for Cale Makar or whatever.
Ooh, no.
But you're the one who kind of stays grounded. What's your thoughts on Nico Hischier, the captain, kind of having this slow start while the team is kind of in this weird position?
It's a 4-game sample. I mean, there's nothing really to take of it other than the first 4 games he's got nothing, just like Dawson Mercer, 0, a big fat 0. So I'm not worried about it. I mean, I think that overall the team has had a slow start, to be honest. They could easily be 0-4 right now. If it wasn't for Jack Hughes going buck wild with his scoring, they could easily be 0-4 right now. Instead, they're 2-1-1. They're 2-1-1.
That's very fair.
It's fair, but that's like saying if it wasn't for Connor McDavid, the Oilers wouldn't make the playoffs. Yeah, but they have Connor McDavid.
Sure.
They have Jack Hughes.
Yes, agreed.
The Devils have Jack Hughes, so that's...
Yeah, but you look at Timo Meier, bad penalties, getting benched. John Marino, I was hoping he would be the X factor on the blue line. He gets benched, but they responded pretty well the last game. So, I think everybody's had a slow start. But you know what? The fact of the matter is they do have Jack Hughes. You're correct. 2-1-1. They easily could have been 3-1-1.
Yeah.
Or 4-0, depending upon who you ask.
Yeah.
So, right now, again, we're talking about 4 games.
Yes.
You invited me on this podcast to talk about 4 games, Sam. So that's what I'm talking about.
I don't know.
Don't panic.
So
don't panic, people.
I'm going to trade you, Sam, for Danielle, because I would like to talk to Danielle and promote the event and speak to our lovely WFAN host, teacher extraordinaire.
That's like a John Marino, Ty Smith trade.
Yeah.
I'm
sending you behind to the minors.
Yeah.
Sorry, bud. But in the meantime, Marcie, you're going to have an article that's coming out in a couple minutes or a couple hours.
Couple
sorry.
minutes.
Yeah,
Wow, what
Right
a
now.
deadline.
It's literally right here.
What a
I just
deadline,
had to edit it.
It's
but,
ready.
You talked about Dawson Mercer and kind of his struggles so far this year. What was your assessment? You kind of dove into his game. What did you find out? Like, what's going on?
I just feel like compared to how he started off last year, so he's only taken 4 shots on goal so far. So not only does not only does he not have any points, no goals, no assists, not taking a lot of shots.
Okay.
I just feel like there have been a lot of opportunities for him to take those shots, and in those places he's just not. He's just not looking as confident as we've seen in the past. I think last year he grew so much, and so there were higher expectations for him this year. Again, as we've said so far, it is only 4 games, so I'm not getting too nervous yet. But as I wrote in the piece that will be coming out, we're starting to get a little concerned because it is a contract year for him, right?
Yeah.
So that's a little bit concerning, but it is early. I'm just hoping to see him start to get going.
So, Danielle, I kind of want to turn it to you because you've covered all of the New York sports. And we always, every time I have you on the podcast, we have the same conversation. New York sports suck. The Devils aren't that bad, right? Like, so it's like the Yankees suck, the Mets suck, the Giants suck, the Jets suck, the Knicks are going to suck. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
We have one hope. WNBA basketball, and we literally have this conversation every time. I should know this by now. But are we getting too negative after a start where you have 5 points in 4 games?
No, it's way too early.
Okay.
Yeah.
Way too early. Like, you can't, I mean, people are still learning to play with each other. They're still juggling the line combinations. And to panic right now, I think, would be silly. It'd be silly to panic right now with all of the changes that still need to happen. I still think there's a question mark in goal. I don't know if the 2 of those guys in the tandem that they have them on back-to-backs is going to be the answer. But time will tell. But right now, this far in, this is their first away game tonight. Relax. A line from Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Relax.
Fun, quick question for you. Just yes or no. We'll go down the line. Are these the 2 goalies bringing the Devils into the playoffs?
No.
I think they. So.
Yes or no. Yes or no.
I'm going to say
this.
no, but it's.
Okay, that's it.
Wait. Can I tell you why?
Maybe.
I think it's going to be Nico
Maybe.
Dawes.
Who?
Nico Dawes.
Okay.
He's going to come back from that hip. He looked real good.
I'm going to be different and say yes.
Yeah, I'm actually also going to say yes.
I think that somebody's going to get hurt. It's just inevitable. Or somebody's going to play themselves out of that position. I don't think it's going to be Vitek Vanacek. I've always been a person that like Schmidt could be good, and he looked really good in the playoffs, but I thought Dawes was the better prospect. He was the better goalie 2 years ago. And I thought Dawes was going to get that call-up when Schmid got the call-up last year. So
correct me if I'm wrong. The reason they didn't give Dawes that call up is actually because they thought more of him. They didn't want to put him into that position.
Well, they wanted him to get starters reps.
Right.
So Schmid was brought up in December because he was coming in to be a strict backup.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I think it was. I can't remember if it was Vanacek or I think it was Blackwood was hurt and Vanacek was there, but. They brought Schmid up just to kind of like get a couple of games with the NHL squad, but they wanted Dawes to get those reps. The hip is hard. We all know what happens to goalies with hips. We saw it to Schneider. We saw it to Carey Price. We saw it to too many goalies where the hip just kind of takes your power away. But, I think that's something that I like Dawes. If he could come back and be what he was before and like grow off that based on just like being an older goalie, I think that is something that's coming.
I think we might be splitting hairs at this point, though, because the both of them where they're at, they're both under a 900% save percentage. The both of them, it's like 34th and 37th in the league right now. Like the Devils have to, like they allow minimum 3 goals per game, so the offense has to overcome that on average per game.
Yeah.
So they're both mid right now.
Right.
Neither of them are edging out the other.
You're
one.
100% right, and I think a lot of that is a symptom of losing Damon Severson and Graves, both in the same season. Mm-hmm. And then your replacement for that are Luke Hughes and Kevin Ball. Kevin Ball for Graves, by the end of the season, I think that's going to be a 1-for-1 personally, but it's not right now. And Luke Hughes for Stevenson, from a defensive standpoint, it's not right now.
Right.
And here's where this really hurts is the Colin Miller fiasco because he was supposed to be the replacement for Severson. He was supposed to be like, a poor man Severson.
Sure.
But he's like a I don't even know. He's a poor man's me. Like he doesn't like.
He skates better than us at least. All right, let's go there.
But he just hasn't looked good. He looks so bad in the preseason, unplayable to the point that you could your legit number 7 left-handed defenseman and put him on the right with your prize prospect. So let me ask you this: you've seen a lot of prize prospects. You've covered a lot of prize prospects. You know how they're coddled in New York. You know how they're. You have to put them in a position to succeed.
Not Zach Wilson, though. He was not coddled.
That BYU education couldn't teach him how to play in New York.
Yeah,
but
not yet.
how do you feel about taking Luke Hughes? He's the brother of the star player, and he's coming in with this pedigree, and then you put him with a guy like Brendan Smith, who's just he's a 7th defenseman. Like, what is your thought process?
Well, he
there?
got reps last year in the playoffs, didn't
Yeah.
he? Luke
He
Hughes?
did.
So
Yeah.
I think that's invaluable. Like, right? So you come in as a prospect and you want to get as many first-team reps as possible. He got the extra added bonus of having them in the postseason, in the playoffs. That's only going to help him. So I expect big things out of him. He's a big guy. He's a good skater. He's got the pedigree. It's a hockey family. The Hugheses are a hockey family, right?
They are America's hockey family
They
at this
are.
point. They really are.
They are. So
Yeah.
I'm not worried. I think it's just a matter of just growth, right?
Yeah.
So, put them in with starters. Everybody, when what's that expression? I never get these right. When the ship raises, when the tide raises, it raises
A
all
rising
ships.
tide raises all
ships. That's
yeah.
it. Yeah. So I'm not too concerned about him. I'm excited to see the growth that he's going to have throughout the rest of this season.
So
Yeah.
we're gonna let you go in a minute because people to
that's
talk
fine.
to you guys.
Like the mayor.
We're doing a Q&A in a couple of minutes, and I cheated and I looked at your answers.
You cheated.
I did.
Oh
I did.
my God.
I know you're concerned about one specific defenseman, but I won't cheat that. Are you concerned about the defense as a whole? Do you think that it's something that needs an upgrade?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, not an upgrade, but I think John Marino is going to come to his own, right? I mean, you saw what he did last year. He was the start book for that whole team. Like, every time I talk to Ken Danico, who, by the way, tonight we're actually doing a charity for a charity that he is the honorary board member of. So it's, what's it called? The Center for Great Expectations. So if you guys have any extra cash or you want to donate, I guess you're
Yep,
the
and
guy-
we're
you're the
gonna
guy
we're
to
gonna
see, right?
donate $1 for every beer sold tonight.
Awesome.
So just drink,
Yeah.
just drink. We got you.
Yeah, that's why I'm repping Ken
Uber
Danico
comes out
tonight,
here,
but-
right? Like, we're
We
good.
do. Yes, very populated area.
Yeah,
Bergen
but
County's got a lot of Ubers.
Anytime I ever talked to Ken Danico, and it was multiple times, especially in the beginning of the season, he was like, John Marino, man, he's the guy. He's the guy. He's going to make this team go. And you know what? We haven't seen it so far this season, but I'm expecting the turnaround for him shortly.
Yeah.
Like the Timo Meyer turnaround.
Yeah. And I think Meyer, like you said, he took the right position. And
I love
myself,
the benching.
yeah,
I love the benching.
yeah,
I did.
Yeah,
Oh, me
yeah.
too.
I liked that it was for a period.
Yeah.
There was people calling for him to be benched the next game, and I thought
No.
that was silly.
No.
Like, bench him for a period. He got the message, and then you upgraded him to play with Jack Hughes. So I
Yeah.
think Lindy
And what
Ruff
did he,
does
what did he
hit.
do in that game?
He played really well.
Thank you.
Yeah, he played really
His
well.
First 2 points of the season.
Lindy Ruff has
Two
done this a
assists.
lot. He's done this a lot.
And look,
that
look
was how
at
he
his first
motivated
10
Brett and
games
Pavel
for the
Zacha.
last 3 seasons.
Yeah.
He's done absolutely nothing for 10 games, and then done all his production in 72 games,
Yeah.
essentially.
And
So.
good on Lindy Ruff too, because that shows he's got a real stranglehold on that locker room, right?
Oh, yeah.
If you bench your the guy who just signed an 8-year deal, 8-year extension, you bench him. That could have gone one of two ways. That could have gone really bad. The team could turn on him. The locker room could turn on him. Meyer could badmouth him to the press for the whole week, because they played Monday and then not again until Friday. That could have been really bad. But it wasn't. They had the conversation the next morning. He explained why he did it. And I thought that was an excellent coaching move by Lindy Ruff. A+.
Agreed. Those 2 penalties he took in that game, and I was there watching them, they were mind-bogglingly bad. It wasn't even like a bad, you got caught with your feet, like hustle penalty, where you just get back here. No, they were just straight-up bad penalties, both of them.
And weird spots, too. Like, one was, like, right by the boards, like, in the
even near
middle
a
of the
play.
ice. Like, and the other one, I can't remember the other one off the top of my head, but the second one, that was just egregious. You're
The
just like, what are
first
you
one, I
doing?
had to get my neighbor at the game and be like, what the hell happened? Because I didn't even see it.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, if your goal going into the season, which it was to cut down on penalties and penalty minutes, and your star player goes out and does that, I mean, come on.
speaking of penalties, can we talk about the Devils' power play in the Islanders game?
4 or 5. 4 of 5.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, let's talk positive.
Let's talk positive.
And I want to bring Marcie into this just because you're on the end, so you're hard to remember. But no, just kidding. Yeah, what that Islanders game especially. So let me ask this, because last year, no matter what the percentages were, we all saw that power play. The power play looked bad. Like it looked terrible. Like honestly, like the numbers were there because you have Jack Hughes, but that's pretty much it. This year, it looks amazing and is scoring a ton. Oh, yeah. So, do you see a difference between last year and this year?
Yeah, for sure. It's just overall, they just look like that chemistry is there in the power play. They look a lot smoother, and I think that it's moving forward. We're going to continue to see a lot of goals on those power plays.
Do you like that split that they're doing with like one where it's Jack Hughes' line and one where it's Nico Hischier's line? So it's like two. It's like a 1A, 1B, truly like, or 1A, 1A1, or whatever you want, whatever they call it.
Yeah, I like that, and I think a lot of I've seen some complaints on social media about having
complaints on social media.
Never.
Whoa! Wow. Social media, stop complaining.
Lies.
I got it right here.
Stop complaining.
I've seen some complaints about having the Hughes brothers together on there. But I like that. I like that move. They obviously have chemistry together.
I do too. It makes sense. They've only been skating together their entire life.
Their whole lives.
Like,
I wrote about it. I said that Luke Hughes, and I said it on this podcast multiple times, Luke Hughes and Jack Hughes should be together on the power play, and I was called crazy because they're like, you have Dougie Hamilton. I was like, put him on the second line. That you have a really good second line.
Yeah.
Like, why? I thought it was. What are your thoughts about that,
That's
Danielle?
a good problem to have when you've got a lot of talented guys and you're arguing over who you want to put where. But I agree with you. These guys have been playing hockey ever since they were kids.
They're kids.
Keep them on the same line.
Yeah.
And
Easy.
not just that. Can we talk about the effectiveness that a right-handed legitimate scoring threat has on that power play?
Yeah.
Look at last year's power play. Everybody other than Dougie, left-handed, all the way around the forward group and second defenseman. Dougie's your only righty. Mm-hmm. So when you're moving him across the blue line towards you, if your back's at the boards here, for that one-timer that he likes to take, everybody knows it's coming.
Yeah.
It's even worse than Ovechkin because at least he's at the circle, ready to rip it, and you've got no time.
Right.
Yeah.
But you see Dougie floating with his back going towards the boards across the blue line. You know he's getting it. You know he's shooting it. So everybody just kind of collapses into the shooting lane. They can't do that this year because he can go right back across the ice to Foley, who's got it on his right-hander on the right wing, who can either shoot it or move it across. And you saw that in Toffoli's goal.
Yeah.
Toffoli's goal was unbelievable.
And I think it's weird. We only talk about that with defensemen, right? The right-handed, left-handed thing. Right? But like it does
a lot for
matter.
forwards.
It does because
I played off wing my entire life. I was a right-hander who played left wing.
your coach hated you. I'm sorry.
No. I preferred it.
Okay.
I preferred it because I liked being able to turn and pass up or pass back.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of other guys on the teams that I played on who did not like that and liked to play that north-south like that. I think it matters. Honestly, I think it matters less for defensemen than it does for forwards.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
The only reason I disagree, well, I'll point to Brendan Smith and show you what he's doing every single night. But because we saw it a lot with when they got Subban, they tried that Subban-Severson combo, which skill set should have been really good, but it was like oil and water. It was like they just did not work at all. So. And they did that with did they do it with Severson and Hamilton? I think that first year they tried Severson and Hamilton.
A little bit. My biggest case for this is Luke last year in Michigan.
Yeah.
Playing tons of right-handed D.
Yeah.
Tons.
But
so if you're a high skill level guy, I think it makes a lot of sense for you to play your off point, especially in the offensive zone. If you want to switch back for breakouts or whatever. But if you're in the offensive zone and you've got Dougie on the left with his right-handed stick and Luke on the right with his left-handed stick, all of a sudden, not only are you a problem to break out up the middle, you're a real problem on the one-timer.
Yeah.
And guys of that skill should be able to block a board chip.
Yeah.
With their stick on that side or not. You should be able to get your skate over there, your body. You should be able to make that happen.
I always wonder, I wonder if they can make a stick. Because, I play lacrosse. And a lot of the people in lacrosse are, they called themselves ambidextrous, but they're not actually. You could just play with your stick in both ways. It's fine. But, I wonder if there's a way to build a stick that you can play both ways. I wonder if there's
Sounds
a
$1 million idea.
An
malleable
articulating blade.
Yeah,
stick,
like a malleable blade that changes for which side you have it on.
People. Get working on that.
Yeah, I'll move it, guys. Call Bauer. Call whoever.
Don't
else
call
makes
Bauer.
it.
We're going to make our own company.
I don't have time to make a stick. Somebody make a stick for me and give me money for it. So for this game, Danielle, I was talking earlier about Montreal, and they had like a strong start, weirdly. And we kind of talk about these teams. You don't know who's kind of like, I remember Buffalo with Jeff Skinner a couple years ago. They were the top team in the league, and then they didn't make the playoffs.
Right. Yeah.
Like you don't know who's that team right now, and just having like a couple wins, and who's like an actually decent team, like Seattle last year. Who was actually good the entire way.
Yeah.
So Montreal, I believe they're 3-1-1. They look decent. Cole Caulfield has really picked it up after his injury-riddled season last year. Is this a game you're worried at all about?
I don't know. No, to me, this early on in the season, you have to worry about your own team in your own house and worry about your own stuff. You got to get John Marino going. You got to keep the goals against under 3 at this. That's your goal. You have to. It's almost like it's a competition within yourself. You can't be too worried about the opponent.
Yeah.
If I'm the Devils, if I'm Lindy Rupp, if we play our game, like I'm on the team, but if we play our game, we shouldn't really, it'll take care of itself. You shouldn't worry about who it is that you're going against, especially this early in the season. Because like you said, no one really has that reputation of being the top team. We don't know where Montreal is going to shake out.
What is your identity?
Right.
You've had 4 games. You don't know yet.
Right.
I mean, I think 15 is a really fair assessment in the NHL.
So.
NBA too, for a side note, but just that 82-game season, 15 games kind of tells me, what are you?
Well, that's like the NFL. Like the NFL is 5 weeks in. You know who you are. You've established your identity.
Oh, look at the Giants 2 weeks ago. Oh, God, the sky is falling. Now, hey, we might make the playoffs.
The defense is playing a lot better.
Oh, look, the defense. Oh.
The sky should still be falling.
You won with Tyrod
Taylor.
You can't block anybody.
Yeah, one with Tyrod Taylor. Like it's you don't know.
Tyrod Taylor's a professional backup, sir. I will not have that.
He's a great backup.
He's a great backup,
but you have a bad starter. So it is what it is.
I disagree, but that's a different.
Also disagree.
Listen, I'm a Patriots fan. The Joneses, keeping up with the Joneses is something you do not want to do. All right. So we're gonna wrap up in a minute. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go around the room, right, around the 4 of us. I want you to give what's the storyline coming out of this game, and then give me your final score prediction. So Marcie, I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Oh.
Devils Canadiens. 7:30 p.m. start. We still got time to come to Alementary in Hackensack, New Jersey. Come to Alementary. Watch the game with us. We will put on the Frozen Frenzy. We will have the Devils game on. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. I got games. I got game shows. We got prizes. We got everything for everybody. But first, we need to do our game prediction. Marcie, give me what's the headline on the New York Post tomorrow morning for the Devils, and what's your score prediction?
For me, the storyline that I'm really hoping to see is John Marino get back to that shutdown defense that we haven't seen from him yet this season, like Danielle was saying before. Hoping to see that tonight. Obviously, I've got my Marino jersey on.
There you go.
So, yeah, I think we're going to see some better defense from him tonight, and hopefully the defense overall will be strong tonight. And what was the other question? Final score?
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with Devils are going to win 4-2.
Okay, like that. Ryan, what's the headline in the back of the New York Post? Because the Devils are definitely going to be on the back of the New York Post tomorrow. And what is
the
your
Devils
final
are always
prediction?
on the back of the New York Post, man. We're high
Larry
value.
Books, friend
We're
of the
a high-value
podcast.
franchise,
Come on,
man.
talk us into the back of the New York Post.
The back of the New York Post, Dawson Mercer's going to score tonight.
Ooh, I like that.
By the way, plus 280. Throw $10 on the Dawson.
There
Plus
you go.
280. I also, one of my favorite things I've been doing this year is I've been teasing the over down to 5.5 with the Devils win, which gives you plus odds for the record.
Love that.
Because if the Devils are going to win, there's going to be 6 goals involved. So I think the final score tonight is going to be 5-2 Devils.
Ooh. Danielle, what is the back page of the Post?
I feel like I'm going last, so I had a little more time to think. But I feel like there's got to be some sort of play on words, like Devils, hell, maybe like power play, raises hell, or power play on fire, or something like that for the Devils. I think it's scorching, and I don't think it's going to cool off. So that's going to be the storyline for me. And I think the final score, I'm going to say 4-2 Devils.
Okay. I see. This was my thing, and I didn't think of a headline.
4-3. Let me change it.
Come on, man.
4-3.
Ooh, okay.
Hellfire Hughes. Jack scores 3. I think it's going to be
Jack with the hat.
Yeah, Jack with the hat. I like it. Hughes Hattie too. That'll be so Jack with the hat will be the back page, and then Hughes Hattie is like when you have to read on page P6 or something
Real
like
quick
that.
though, can a Hughes Hattie be if both Hughes brothers combine for 3 goals?
No, they have to combine for 6.
No.
Jack can score 4.
No, but
and
the
Luke
Hughes,
can score 2.
Hughes Hattie, if both Hughes brothers combine for 3 goals,
I feel like this is like cheating for like Gordie Howe hat trick. Like I have a goal and assist. I'm gonna punch somebody in the face.
I mean,
and
I
get a
would
Gordie
do
Howe hat trick.
that. I would do that to get the Gordie Howe. 100%.
All right, but are you ready for my score prediction?
Sure.
7-2. I think the Devils are
Hot
going
damn.
to. I think they're going to put the skate blade on Marty St. Louis' neck, and they're just going to say, "Listen, man, you got a bad team. You got a bad team, and this is what we do to bad teams."
Les Habitants de Montréal est merde.
Looks like Sam. Sam, I know you like to throw in your score prediction. What do you got?
9-0.
9. He always has to come out here and go over the top of what I do. It's. If I predicted 40 goals, he'd say there'd be 44 goals in this game. All right. Do we have any? I'm going to go around the room one more time, and that includes you, Sam. And we're going to do one final thought. It could be preview. It could be about this game. It could be looking forward. Marcie, what is your one final thought on the Devils right now?
Final thought is just hoping to see Dawson Mercer get going too, get some points.
Yeah. Ryan, what's your one final thought?
Final thought, Dawson Mercer might be the perfect third-line player.
Interesting. Okay. My one final thought is I think Eric Holla hated being hurt so much that I think he's going to come back with a vengeance tonight. He looks like he's ready. He talked about it so much, how much he hated being hurt. So I'm really excited what Eric Holla does. Danielle, what's your one final thought?
I think I'm going to go less micro and go more macro, and I'm going to kind of look at the whole season as a whole. And you look at, we started with this, how terrible the New York teams are. I think hockey around here is going to be very exciting. But of all the 3 teams here in New York and New Jersey, you'd have to think that the Devils are the best of all 3 of them. So let's go Devils.
Mr. Wu.
Yay!
Mr. Wu, one final thought.
Jack Hughes, 130 points.
130 points for Jack Hughes is Sam's prediction.
Tonight or on the season?
Yeah, listen, if he gets 130 points tonight, I don't know. I'll
Bro,
buy beers for everybody.
We're having a big party.
Beers are on
We're
me
having
if
a
he
big
scores
party
130
tonight.
points, guys. Sorry.
It's a video game.
Can we get his credit card and just put that on file just in case, please? Thank you, guys.
It
Good
is
job.
on recording.
Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. I am on the record. If he scores 130 points, I will spend whatever it costs to buy everybody beers in this place.
And it'll
I like
all
him.
go
He's
to a
great.
good
It goes to a good cause. That's 130 beers, right?
Right.
Or whatever. Or 130. I don't know. I made all this up. I'm falling off the wagon. So to be ready for this Q&A, we have to say goodbye. Game Day Live at Alementary in Hackensack. You still got time. Folks, you got 23
down.
minutes before puck drop. We're going to have the Frozen Frenzy on. Wait.
To the camera.
Oh, yeah, I got to talk to the camera. I'm not a professional broadcaster. I am a producer. I'm usually behind that camera. Come to Alementary. We'll treat you nice. We'll say nice things to you, but we're going to have
beer.
games. We
Lots
got
of beer.
prizes. We got beer. Come to Alementary. It's in Hackensack.
Oh, Hackensack, New Jersey, real quick. We're going to give away a pair of my season tickets during the first intermission. So come on down. I'm going to give away a pair
It's
of
a
my
weekend
tickets.
game, too, right?
It is. They're in section 117. So
That's a second intermission. You can get free tickets. You can play games with me and Danielle and Marcie and Ryan and Sam. Come down, Hackensack, Alementary. There's beer here. Come on, guys. But thank you, guys. I'm Nick Villano, editor-in-chief of Pucks and Pitchforks. Everybody, have a good night until we see you again.